There is a generation of Americans that was raised on a specific belief about police. Be respectful, be cooperative, answer their questions, and everything will be fine. That generation is over 50, and that belief, decent, civic-minded, completely sincere, is the single biggest reason that generation is being targeted at traffic stops more than any other age group in America. Not because they are criminals, because they are cooperative, because they answer every question, because they say, of course, go ahead, because they were raised to believe that a person with nothing to hide has nothing to fear, and because officers know exactly which phrases trigger that cooperative instinct in a driver over 60, and they use them deliberately. I am Marcus. On this channel, I give you the real law and the exact words before you need them. Quick note, legal educator, not your attorney. Education, not legal advice. Laws vary by state. Consult a licensed lawyer for your situation. In this video, I am going to walk you through 5 specific phrases that officers use at traffic stops that sound friendly, sound helpful, sound like the officer is actually on your side, and I am going to show you exactly what each one is actually designed to do, and the calm, polite, legally correct response that protects you without turning a simple stop into a confrontation. Stay with me through all 5, because number 4 is the one that costs seniors the most. And I mean that in terms of real money, real records, and real consequences. Section 1. Why seniors are specifically targeted. Before we get to the 5 phrases, you need to understand why this matters more for drivers over 60 than for anyone else. It is not random. It is not coincidence. There are 3 specific reasons officers know this demographic responds differently. First, trust. People who grew up before the 1970s were raised in an era when authority figures were generally trusted, and cooperation with police was considered both civic duty and personal safety. That cultural programming runs deep, and it runs visibly. Officers are trained observers. They can read who is likely to answer and who is likely to say nothing. Second, isolation. Many seniors drive alone. No passenger means no witness. No witness means the encounter depends entirely on one body cam and one officer's report. Third, unfamiliarity. Legal rights education has changed dramatically in the last 20 years. A driver who is 30 has likely seen dozens of videos, articles, and social media posts about traffic stop rights. A driver who is 65 may have never encountered this information before. Those 3 factors combined make this demographic the easiest population for a fishing officer to work with. And the 5 phrases I am about to show you are specifically effective on that profile. Phrase 1, don't worry, you're not in trouble. This is the opening move. The disarming statement. The officer walks up, smiles, and before you have said a single word, he says, don't worry, you're not in trouble. It sounds like relief. It feels like permission to relax. That is exactly the function it is performing. A relaxed person talks. A relaxed person fills silence. A relaxed person answers questions they were never legally required to answer because the threat has been verbally removed. Here is what "you're not in trouble" actually means legally. Absolutely nothing. It is not a legal designation. It is not a guarantee of any kind. It has no bearing on what happens in the next 5 minutes. What it does is lower your guard at precisely the moment your guard should be highest, the moment an officer has approached your vehicle. The correct response is warm and brief. Thank you, officer. How can I help you? Polite, friendly, and it hands the conversation back to him without giving him a single piece of information he did not have before. Be kind. Be short. Do not relax. If you are over 60 and you drive, subscribe right now, because this is the video that should have come with your license. Keep watching, because phrase 2 is the one most seniors answer without even realizing it was a question. Phrase 2, do you know why I pulled you over? This phrase is covered in traffic stop education constantly, and seniors still fall for it constantly. Because here is what happens inside the mind of a cooperative, honest driver over 60 when they hear it. They search, they think back, they try to help, and then they say something like, I suppose I might have been going a little fast back there, or I wasn't sure about that turn signal. Congratulations, you just confessed to a traffic violation before the officer has written a single word in his report. On camera, out loud. The Fifth Amendment gives you the right not to be a witness against yourself. That phrase is specifically engineered to make you a witness against yourself cheerfully and voluntarily. The correct response is 4 words: calm, honest, unbothered, no, officer, why did you? That is it. You answered his question honestly. You genuinely do not know which of a dozen things he had in mind, and you put the legal burden exactly where it belongs on him to state the reason for the stop. Not on you to guess it and accidentally confess to it. Say it kindly. Say it every single time. Phrase 3. Where are you headed tonight? This sounds like the most casual small talk imaginable, and for a generation raised on friendly interaction with authority, it produces a friendly, detailed, completely unnecessary answer almost every time. Oh, just heading home from my daughter's. We had dinner together. She lives over on Maple. You know, the subdivision off Route 9. You just gave the officer your destination, your prior location, the identity of a family member, and a detailed travel itinerary. None of that information was legally required. None of it helped you. Every piece of it is now in the report, and inconsistencies between your account and what the officer later checks can be characterized as evasive statements, which become the reasonable suspicion he needs to extend the stop. The Supreme Court ruled in Berkemer versus McCarty in 1984 that you are not obligated to answer travel questions during a traffic stop. Your response is calm and complete. Officer, I'd prefer not to answer questions. Am I free to go? That sentence does 2 jobs. It closes the fishing trip, and it forces a legal declaration: either you are free to leave or you are being detained. Either way, you now know exactly where you stand. Phrase 4, the one that costs seniors the most, he lowers his voice slightly. He leans a little closer. He says it like he is doing you a personal favor. You don't mind if I take a quick look, do you? And this is where I need you to hear me very clearly, because this single moment, this one casual, friendly, favor-sounding request is responsible for more unnecessary searches of innocent people than almost any other moment in a traffic stop. Under the 4th Amendment, you are protected from unreasonable searches. To search your vehicle legally, an officer generally needs one of 3 things: a warrant, probable cause, or your permission. Your permission is the easiest one to get, and the moment you say sure, go ahead, I have nothing to hide, every protection the 4th Amendment built around your vehicle evaporates permanently. Courts in Schneckloth versus Bustamonte in 1973 ruled that officers do not have to tell you that you have the right to refuse. They can ask for permission while knowing you can say no, and they are under no obligation to mention that option. People consent to searches of cars that have an old prescription bottle in the console, a pocket knife in the door pocket, something a passenger left behind last week, something they forgot was there entirely. And just like that, an honest, innocent driver is in a situation they never expected over something they did not even know was in their own car. The response is 6 words. Say them calmly. No apology. No explanation. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. Say it once. Hand over your documents. Keep your hands visible. And say nothing more. You are not being difficult. You are exercising a constitutional right, and exercising a right cannot be used as evidence of guilt. Courts have been consistent on that. Phrase 5, just bear with me, I'll be right back, this is the invisible one. The one that does not even sound like a phrase. It sounds like a normal procedural moment. He takes your license and goes back to his patrol car. 5 minutes pass, then 10, then 15. You sit and wait, because you were raised to wait, because leaving feels rude, because he said he'd be right back. Here is what is actually happening. He is running every database check he can think of. He is calling for backup. In many cases, he is waiting for a canine unit to arrive and conduct a sniff of the outside of your vehicle, something that extends your detention beyond its legal purpose. The Supreme Court ruled in Rodriguez versus United States in 2015 that officers cannot extend a traffic stop beyond the time reasonably needed to handle the original violation without independent reasonable suspicion of additional criminal activity. Every minute you sit there without asking anything is a minute you are voluntarily extending that stop on your own. When the documents come back, or when the wait has gone clearly beyond what writing a ticket requires, you have 4 words. Officer, am I free to go? Ask it calmly. Ask it respectfully. Ask it once. Either he says yes, and you leave calmly, without rushing, without drama, or he says no, and you now know you are being detained, which means the Rodriguez clock is running against him, and every additional minute of detention without legal justification is building your case in the courtroom, where this will actually be decided. Do not ask twice. Do not argue. Ask once, and listen carefully to the answer. The 5 responses locked in. Let me run all 5 back fast so they stick. 1. Don't worry. You're not in trouble. Thank you, officer. How can I help you? Warm and brief. 2. Do you know why I pulled you over? No, officer. Why did you? Never confess to something before it's stated. 3. Where are you headed tonight? Officer, I'd prefer not to answer questions. Am I free to go? 4. You don't mind if I take a quick look? Officer, I do not consent to any searches. 6 words. Every time. 5. Just bear with me, I'll be right back. When documents return, officer. Am I free to go? 5 phrases. 5 responses. All calm, all polite, all backed by Supreme Court rulings. If you are over 60 or you have someone in your life who is, share this video with them right now, not tomorrow. Because the next traffic stop does not announce itself, and the phrases I just showed you are being used today, on this road, in your county, on drivers who were raised to cooperate and who have no idea that cooperation is costing them. Subscribe to Marcus Your Rights Explained. Every week I break down the exact situations, the exact phrases, and the exact responses that protect you before you need them. Because knowing your rights is not about being difficult, it is about making sure that your decency and your cooperation are never used against you. Stay calm, stay firm, stay polite. I am Marcus. I will see you in the next one.